they can stay consistent and play at a high level, particularly on the defensive end, which is one of the biggest adjustments they've made in the Nate McMillan era.
And we are off and running in Atlanta.
For the putback.
Here comes Solomon Hill. Pretty feed at Oubre with the block.
The reality is he's probably being asked to score a little bit more because of the roster makeup, right? Draymond not the scorer. This team it's about developing some of that core young talent and seeing what meshes well with our proven winners in Clay and Draymond and Steph. In that front office with this team it's about developing some of that core young talent and seeing what meshes well with our proven winners in Clay and Draymond. In that front office with this team it's about developing some of that core young talent and seeing what meshes well with our proven winners in Clay and Draymond. Capela has been so good for this Atlanta team this year in particular. You know, the trade they made last year to bring him over didn't quite go as planned, but if you look at what he's done this year, that ability to get that head to the rim really does open up so much of what they want to do offensively.
Three-pointer from Herter won't go. Oubre clears. Right. High pass, Draymond underneath to Wiseman, bumping bodies with Capela.
That shot was very long there by Herter.
Lob again inside. Here's Wiseman and a push by Capela.
And they're only a half game out of the top four. Just to illustrate how wild a year it's been in both conferences.
Probably, and you're seeing it with Wiseman, they're probably not ready to impact winning yet. So, you know, really important that they finish strong and get that experience for their young roster.
And Bob, how many years is this for you?
This is my 25th.
How about that?
Taken away by Trey. Here come the Hawks.
Might as well.
Bob, I got great eyes, man.
Since leaving back in that 2019 season, 5 years with the Hawks, but Wiseman basically played 2 weeks of college ball, GA, the issues with the NCAA, and was 19 years old when he made his NBA debut. That is about as hard a set of circumstances as you could have.
Heck, you didn't know what team you were going to be on up until about a couple weeks before the beginning of training camp.
Green then runs the break.
I'm sorry about that part. That was a terrific defensive sequence there by the Warriors. You've got to be able to have 2-3 minute stretches where you can create separation, and they've kind of figured that out here of late, and it's really allowed for their team to be able to, as Nate McMillan said, we can finish games now.
Normally I see guys that are connected and doing the right things. Even if they get scored on, I'm like, hey, that was still a great defensive play.
Beautiful finish at the other end by Jordan Poole.
Kevin Durant was never a bad defender in OKC, but he never had the impact that we saw him have when he put on a Warriors uniform. It's because defense is required more here.
This exclusive opportunity here in the month of April, Hawks.com/win.
And Steph, like that's the whole element of culture here. The accountability is what's allowed for, and that counts either way. I don't know where this thing all ends up this year in terms of the Warriors, but you look at all the uncertainty, and really there's a lot of turmoil at the top, especially when you look at what's going on with the Lakers.
It doesn't seem like much of a reward for your actions.
So Steve Kerr, you think of how his life has changed as a coach. Capela expressing himself.
Blake Griffin coming over to the Nets. I think he could have a similar type of role. Is that you become a secondary playmaker. Blake Griffin coming over to the Nets. I think he could have a similar type of role. Is that you become a secondary playmaker. They're going to have the potential to get a nice young player in the draft, but much like we've seen with Wiseman, probably not going to be a difference maker in terms of competing next year for a championship.
Thompson, from everything we have been told, right on schedule with his rehab process. Back-to-back devastating injuries. His Poole's three-pointer won't go on the rebound, cleared by Capela.
You know, now you're considered one of the best if you're giving up like 102, 103, 104. So completely different game there. Beautiful finish there by Capela. You know, now you're considered one of the best if you're giving up like 100, 203, 104. So completely different game there. Beautiful finish there by Capela. You know, now you're considered one of the best if you're giving up like 100, 203, 104. So completely different game there. Beautiful finish there by Capela.
Curry going backdoor to Wiseman. The spin. Everything that time but the finish.
Sorry about that part. That's an issue there. Wiseman made a bad read. He should have cut a full second earlier than he did. He would have had an uncontested dunk. Starting to feel it, and if you're the Hogs, this is when I think you're at your very best. When you've got him shooting it consistently as Wiseman misses that little mid-range, and that's exactly what happened for Oubre on that finish.
Here's Wiggins on a transition three, not that time. The rebound by Capela. GA, even for this Golden State team in what has been a transition year. Green contact, and he'll shoot a couple of free throws.
You know, not asked to do some things. What a great catch there by Draymond.
Three-pointer from Oubre won't go. This year. These guys, the great players, just constantly evolving as Wiggins misses on a three. And the rebound corralled by Capela.
It's really for everybody out on the floor. But Draymond hasn't scored it like maybe he's capable of, but he has done everything else, and as has Clint Capela. It's really for everybody out on the floor. But Draymond hasn't scored it like maybe he's capable of, but he has done everything else, and as has Clint Capela. It's really for everybody out on the floor. But Draymond hasn't scored it like maybe he's capable of, but he has done everything else, and as has Clint Capela. It's really for everybody out on the floor. But Draymond hasn't scored it like maybe he's capable of, but he has done everything else, and as has Clint Capela.
And a rebound by Curry. And there's the steal, Herter. Now to Young. Oh, the unselfishness. Capela with the finish, and we're tied again.
There you go, to try to get yourself connected.
Three-pointer from Curry, not that time. And the rebound tracked down by Capela. Lou Williams, three-time NBA Sixth-Man of the Year. Inside, off the deflection, gets it back. No, the putback. Capela, and he's fouled. Lou Williams, three-time NBA Sixth-Man of the Year. Inside, off the deflection, gets it back. No, the putback. Capela, and he's fouled. Clint Capela has now hit 21 points.
I think it's going to be critical. If you play good defense, you got to finish it by securing that defensive backboard.
Bogdanovich underneath, lofting to Capela, puts it up and